Dear student, this is Kamru Nahar, your science miss. Today I am going to discuss about chapter 5, coordination and secretion. Coordination is very important for living organisms. Living organisms means all plants and animal kingdom. Growth, reproduction, sensitivity and reflex action etc. are characteristics of living organisms. For completing these physiological activities in decent way, hormones plays an important role. So the today's chapter will deal with hormone, basically phytohormones and coordination. The topic those will be discussed today: phytohormone, uses of hormones, phototropism, nerve cell. Phytohormone are two types, so I have mentioned these types. Now, what is phytohormone? We know that all physiochemical activity, growth and development of plants are controlled by some intrinsic secretion of plants. This organic compound is known as phytohormone. I am discussing these things. Different physiological activities of plants, including growth and movement, are performed systematically following some specific order. One activity doesn't hamper other. So, for growth and development, different organs etc. of plants are controlled by some intrinsic secretion of plants. This organic compound is known as phytohormone. Now, it is a natural growth substance, and these hormones synthesized in one part of a plant and are translocated to other parts where they exert their influences. So it is clear that it is created in one portion of plants and it influenced in other organ of the plants. So there are distance between the position of its creation and its influence or the activity part. Now we have told that hormones are two types. Phytohormones are two types, that is growth regulating hormone and other is growth retarding hormone. Growth regulating hormones are auxin, gibberellin and cytokinin, and growth retarding hormones are abscisic acid and ethylene. Now, types of hormones: growth regulating hormone, I have said earlier, which enhance growth, and growth retarding hormone, growth retards agent. Auxin. This is very important hormone, phytohormone for plant. This hormone can induce adventitious roots in the stem, cutting, inhibiting the process of abscission of fruits. Charles Darwin first discovered this hormone. He observed the effect of light on the plumule membrane. When light falls obliquely one side of and the plumule moves towards the light source by bending gradually. In fact, the substance of the apical part of the plumule was a growth hormone, auxin. So, it is clear that auxin is a very much important hormone for plant growth and it is a growth regulating hormone. Now, gibberellin. Gibberellin also plays very important role for a dwarf plant to growth in height. If you want to grow your plant in height, then you can apply gibberellin hormone. To overcome the dormancy of seed, this is very important. What is dormancy? You have to know. The dormancy is the state of having normal functions, basically physically functions, suspended or slowed down for a period of time. Again, the state of having normal physical functions suspended or slowed down for a period of time. To overcome this problem. Why to overcome this problem? Because Bangladesh or in our country and different country, different types of natural disaster occur. And our country is a agriculture based country. So farmer apply this gibberellin phytohormone to overcome the dormancy period so that the harvesting period will overcome the natural disaster problem. We are a very much highly populated country. We need food to live. So our harvesting period, if come forward or before the flooding time or rainy season, then we can overcome our food or shelter problems. So we apply gibberellins to overcome this dormancy of seed problem. Now, ethylene. It is a gaseous phytohormone. It can eliminate the geotropic response of seedlings and consequently deform seedlings are produced. So it is one gaseous phytohormone and it plays very important role for geotropic response of seedlings. It inhibits stem elongations, promotes food ripening, increases the girth of the stem and abscission of leaves. Applications include artificial ripening of fruits and sprouts of storage organs. So, in some cases, objective may rise which phytohormone is responsible for food ripening. Then you can answer ethylene. You have to remember this is one of the gaseous phytohormone. Now, movement. We know that like other living organisms, plants also have sensitivity. Due to this effect of internal or external stimuli on the plant body creates sensation and consequently plant moves and grows. This type of movement is known as tropic movement. We know that in our everyday life, we also see that plants grow upward towards the source of sunlight. This is one kind of sensitivity towards the light. Due to light, some plants grow upward and some plants just go outside our window. We always make our balcony with gardening, and these you will look that plants also goes towards the source of light, that means towards the sun. This is one kind of movement and this is an example of movement of plants. This is known as tropic movement. Now, phototropism, the orientation of a plant or other organism in response to light, either towards the source of light or away from it. That I have earlier told that the sensitivity of plant towards source of light is known as phototropism. This is very simple. If the plant goes towards the source of light, then it is called positive phototropism, or away from it, that means away from the source of light, it is known as negative phototropism. It is clear? I am repeating the orientation of a plant or other organism in response to light, either towards the source of light, positive phototropism, or away from it, that means source of light, is known as negative phototropism. Now, uses of phytohormone. Phytohormones are chemical messenger. This is very important to know. This is chemical messenger that coordinate cellular activities of plants. That means growth, development, reproduction. Reproduction means flowering, germination. Every portion of plants are regulated by phytohormone. This lecture introduces the plant's hormone auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, cassid or gibberellin, ethylene, abscisic acid through their roles during the plant life from seed to seed. Now we will discuss a new thing, that is nerve cell. Nerve cell is very important because we know that the structural and functional unit of nervous system is the neuron, the longest cell of human body. Neurons are the special name for nerve cells. Nerve cells make up the brains, nerves and spinal cord. We know that our brain is consist of or built of nerve cell. So the structural and functional unit of nervous system is known as neuron. And neuron is the longest cell of human body. Neurons are the special name for nerve cells. Nerve cells make up the brains, nerves and spinal cord. If question asks what is nerve cells, you can give the answer. The structural and functional unit of nervous system is known as neuron. The longest cell of human body. Neuron are the special name for nerve cells. Nerve cells make up the brain, nerves and spinal cord. This is the diagram of neuron. Look at the diagram. There are two parts of neuron. One is cell body and other is processes. Cell body, this is the cell body and this is the processes. The process is also divided into two parts. One is axon and other is dendron. Axon is this part and dendron is branch-like tree-like system. And the cell body consists of nucleus and this nucleus makes the cell alive. This portion is known as synapse. In this position another neuron is attached. Now nerve cell. There are two parts of neuron. One is cell body and other is processes. Cell body, I have earlier said, a cell body which contains the nucleus of the cell and keeps the cell alive. This is the nucleus and keeps the cell alive. Then the process, the branched tree-like structure that extends from the cell body is known as processes. This is two types. One is axon and other is dendron. This is axon and this is dendron. Now axon. Axon, also called nerve fiber, portion of a nerve cell, that means neuron that carries nerve impulses away from the cell body. A neuron typically has one axon that connects it with other nerve or other neuron or with muscles or gland cells. Some axons may be quite long, reaching, for example, from the spinal cord down to a toe. So it is very much long. Earlier I have said that nerve cells is the longest cell of human body. So we have understand what is axon. Axon carries basically impulses from the cell body. Impulses away from the cell body carries. Now dendron. Dendrons are the synonym of dendrite. Dendrites are the short branch extension of a nerve cells, along which impulses received from other cells at synapse are transmitted to the cell body. Dendrites usually receive signals while axon usually transmit them. Dendron receives signals and axon usually transmit them. Please, you will see in your textbook, page number 51, how the stimuli is received and reflection is going from the nerve cell. Dendron and axon both plays important role for the transmission of these signals. Now synapse. The junctions between the two neurons where axon of one neuron ends and the dendron of another neuron arises. Where axon of one neuron ends and the dendrons of another neuron arises, that place is known as synapse. Synapses are also called neurojunctional neural junction, the site of transmission of electric nerve impulses between two nerve cells. Okay, and this place is filled with neurohumor fluid. Synapse is filled with neurohumor fluid. Through this fluid, the signals are exchanged between two neurons. Sensory neurons. Sensory neurons are the nerve cells. Those are activated by sensory inputs from the environment. For example, when you touch a hot surface with your fingertips, the sensory neurons will be the ones firing and sending off the signals to the rest of the nervous system about the information they have received. So, information is received by sensory neurons. So, motor neurons are other types of neuron. Motor neurons of the spinal cord are part of the central nervous system and connect to the muscles, glands, and organs throughout the body. These neurons transmit impulses from the spinal cord to the skeletal and smooth muscles and so directly control all of our muscle movement. So sensory neurons receives signals or receives inputs from our body, and motor neuron just connects to the muscles, glands, and other organs throughout the body, and they transmit the response from the spinal cord. Now we are going to other things, that is nervous system. The nervous system consists of three systems. One is central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system. CNS is the central nervous system, PNS peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system ANS. These are the main parts of nervous systems. So today's lecture is completed. Thank you for listening me patiently. Hope all of you have understand my lecture. Thank you everybody.